Alright guys, so yes, I know it's been 2 months since I last uploaded a video, and because of those 2 months, a bunch of you guys have been asking questions whether or not I quit YouTube, if I quit CODM, have I quit competitive, what's happening to my team, have they quit. There's a whole bunch of stuff, so today I'm going to be answering a lot of those questions to you guys. I'm going to be talking about a lot of stuff that happened behind the scenes, and then I'm also going to be talking about our future plans if there are any. Yeah, hope you guys do enjoy. Enough talking from me, let's get straight into the action. Alright guys, so yes, the day has finally come. Judging by the title, you guys probably already know where this video is headed. Some of you guys might be surprised, some of you guys may not be surprised. But if you guys know what's happening behind the scenes of North America, then obviously you guys know what's going to happen. But before we do get on to the video, I have a quick message for today's sponsor. Before I drop the juicy COD Mobile news that you guys were waiting for, we're gonna have to take a moment to give a quick shout out to today's sponsor, and that is from a game none other than NBA 2K Mobile. So when I first found out about the fact that NBA 2K Mobile was a game for mobile players, I was beyond excited, especially with the timing, because just now they decided to drop a Season 7 update, which gave us the opportunity to see a bunch of new animations, a brand new game mode, which we'll be talking about as we go into the video, and we get a whole new event in which we can gain rewards by playing games and completing challenges. Now listen, if that wasn't convincing enough, then I'm sure this will help, because of the fact that you finally have the opportunity to play with your best and most favorite teams from both the east side and the west side of the world, and you have the chance to play with your favorite players, whether that be Curry or Tatum, or if you're old-fashioned, you have the chance to play with Shaq and Jordan. As for the new game mode, it is called Rewind, and in this mode, you are able to use any starting 5 of any current roster and collect their cards, complete and gain rewards, which can boost you up on the leaderboards, and you're able to recreate history by replaying the top moments in NBA history. And last but not least, NBA 2K Mobile has added a total of 500 plus animations in which you guys can choose and play from, whether that be from Jokic all the way to SGA, and you guys can do all of that in a single click. All you gotta do is click the link down in the description and join the fun. And with that being said, let's get straight back into the video. Now that we're done with today's sponsor, I can finally jump into it, and that is me officially announcing that today is a day where I retire from the competitive side of things for Call of Duty Mobile. NA as a whole right now is definitely not at like what it once was. Back in 2020 to like 2022, I would say, NA was at the top and we were probably like one of the best regions in the world. But now that, you know, time has progressed and, you know, everyone's been getting better and every team has been improving a lot, that is just not the case anymore. We can't really just half-ass things and just put like 4 hours a day into the game and expect to win. People have definitely gotten better, like I mentioned, and that's one of the main reasons why it's gonna be hard to catch up. The Eastern teams definitely have a lot more resources and support to improve at the game, and they have the luxury of actually being able to play the game for 8 to 10 hours a day without worrying about anything else, because, you know, they have decent salaries, they have a boot camp, they have, you know, even chefs that make them food, especially in China, which is really sick, by the way. But yeah, unfortunately, NA doesn't have that support. Our contract salaries aren't as good, which means you can't really support your lifestyle with just a few $100 or like $1,000 a month. I'm not even saying that to be ungrateful, but it is really hard to, like, you know, support a lot of people with just a few $100s or $1,000 max, right? But yeah, there's a lot of things that are going into the reason for me retiring. One of them, like I just mentioned, is a lack of support and resources towards our region. I actually ended up making a tweet about all this a few weeks after we lost champs, and I'm not gonna lie, that was the very first time that India was actually on my side, and we both put away like whatever kind of banter we had to actually improve and get the word out. So shout out to you guys in India. I love you guys for actually like supporting that whole thing. But yeah, resources and support is definitely lacking in North America, and I wouldn't be surprised if a lot more NA players end up retiring or end up going overseas to play at different regions, which I do have a special thing to say at the end about that whole overseas thing, which is actually really duper, like super duper sick. That was the first thing. Second thing, in my opinion, as years have progressed, the tournament format hasn't been the greatest. We went from, you know, having a double elim bracket for every major tournament to now having a single elim, and I get it because single elim tournaments are faster, which means the costs for, you know, setting up these tournaments are low, and that's what in a business standpoint is necessary for said company. But the only downside with that is, with a single elim bracket, the viewers and the competitors themselves can already predict what the tournament is going to go, or how the tournament is going to go, and who's going to progress and who isn't. And on top of that, the viewers aren't as insane because there's no sense of storyline, there's no Cinderella story, there's no comeback story, there's nothing. If you lose, you're basically out. There's no way of coming back from the losers bracket to the grand finals. And I think that was one of the beautiful things back in 2022. And that was the year when we won champs. And no, I'm not bringing it back just to be biased about, oh, like that's the year we won champs, it should be like that. But in 2022, we lost our game against Woes in the winners bracket. And from losing that, we had to make an entire losers bracket run from day 1 to day 3, and that's how we ended up becoming world champions. We ended up coming back from the losers bracket to the grand finals to then winning it all. And having a storyline like that to get to that point is such a beautiful thing, and I'm sure every viewer would appreciate that. For example, let's just use Godlike as an example. Let's say Godlike lost against X-Rock day 3. They obviously lost, or day 2 was it? I don't know. And then from the winners bracket, they went to the losers bracket. They beat every team in the losers bracket, and then they ended up going to grand finals and winning the whole thing. The amount of attention, the amount of sheer joy, the amount of like whatever that whole thing would get from not just the viewers, but just like other outlets in the gaming world is insane. But for some reason, it's not like, for some reason, like we can't have that right now, and it's probably not going to happen again. So yeah, that's the other point. Lack of communication and organization with some of these tournaments. For example, like going into stage 5, every single region, every single player, and everyone and their mother thought that we were going to play with the S24. But then last second, they decide to switch that and decide to switch over to the S23s. Now, I'm not saying Samsung devices are bad, because they are in fact good. But the only issue with this is that fact that the S23s were not optimized. There was input delay for people who use touch input, which obviously by that I mean using their fingers to play. And with that being said, if you use gyro, you had more of an advantage because there was no input delay whatsoever. So people who use gyro had a faster reaction time and were able to react quicker than somebody who was using touch, which in my opinion goes up against that whole like competitive like moral thingy with like everyone having like an even playing field. Because I'll be real with you, stage 5, it was not really that even, because people who were gyro had an advantage, is what I'm trying to say. Now, keep in mind, whatever I'm saying, I'm not, trying to give any excuses as to why we lost or whatever, but I'm just trying to put everything out there to be as transparent as possible. So I do think that whole like even ground thing was definitely broken, and it sucks, but you can't control it. But what's worse is the fact that this isn't really the first time that this has happened. It has happened in the past where like devices were either changed last second, or we were just told about things last second as well. So like I said, that is definitely one of the rough parts of competitive. I do get the whole like, oh, you got to adapt to like whatever is given to you. I get that. But when you have to adapt to something that doesn't, that isn't in your favor, it's kind of hard to do that. You know what I mean? And I guess the other point I wanted to bring out was the fact that North America, or even the Western side of the world in general, all they really get is one event. We practice day and night for X amount of hours every single day for one single event, and that is the World Championship. And if we end up going to the championship and losing, guess what? Our entire year has been wasted. We put all that time into the game. We put all those hours into the game. We ditched, family, friends, loved ones to play and practice to, end up winning the championship. And if that doesn't happen, guess what? It was all for nothing. Thankfully, I'm in a very, good spot because of you guys and because of everyone that's been able to support me, where I'm able to do content creation, and I'm able to, make another stream of revenue from you guys. So shout out to you guys for that. But for the other people that aren't as fortunate enough, they aren't able to be in that same position. And if they're putting their, blood, sweat, and tears into this game and playing the game for like X amount of hours, and then they end up losing, they basically had nothing to show for it. No sense of profit, no sense of revenue, no sense of money, no nothing. And that thing, like I mentioned, doesn't sit right with me. So I wish there was more tournaments and more support like the Eastern side of the world, where they are able to have CDSI, CDFI, all these other side tournaments like Garena Championships and all that. And I'd be even willing to risk a little bit of the profits from the championship to go towards these smaller events. And I'm sure every single pro player, they've done that. Every pro player has said that they would not mind a little bit of the champs money going towards these smaller projects for us to, gain more experience and gain more LAN experience. But nothing is being heard, I guess. But yeah, that was pretty much all my thoughts and all my reasonings as to why I'm probably retiring from COD Mobile competitively, not content creation wise. But yeah, aside from that, I'm gonna be sticking with CODM. I was planning on making a new channel where like I play things that I want to play and like try to venture out into the PC and more so like IRL, not IRL like live stream, but like a way of making content about myself and like how I actually am, if that makes sense, with like other games. But let me know down in the comments if you guys would actually watch that. I'd make a new channel for it, of course, and I'll probably try to balance out both CODM and like my own stuff. But let me know down in the comments. I don't know how you guys feel about anything I said. Let me know down in the comments as well if you guys agree with me, if you guys disagree, and why that is. But yeah, don't know when I'm gonna upload next. It'll probably be pretty soon, but hopefully this gave you guys some sort of answer, some sort of transparency, whatever. You guys can ask your own questions down in the comments soon. I'll probably answer them whenever I have the chance. But yeah, with that being said, that was everything I said. Shout out to everyone in Tribe. Shout out to everyone in LG. Shout out to you guys for putting me in the position as to where I am today. I would not have seen myself be in the position where I am today 4 or 5 years from now. Being able to play this game and actually like make a living off it and do something I love. Especially like, you know, shout out to my team that I won the championship with my first rookie year. Tech, Marshy, Bolu, Jez, and Salty. And LG, from the LG guys, Envy, Washi, Band, Marshy, and Tech once again. Love you guys for real. But yeah, that is all for me. I love you guys too. Without you guys, this would not be possible. All you viewers out there, appreciate you guys for real. Every single one of you guys, no matter where you're from or what country or like which team you represent or love. And yeah, that should be it for me.